Welcome back, Rig Radio fan. I'm Deadman Strolin, and tonight we have an artist spotlight. You may or may not know of this group, Red Room Outlaws, but tonight we have Jax Vandal. In-house, you're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back.
You're hooked up to America's Bloodline, 121.4.
Hey, Naughty Nation. Tonight we have the privilege to have one of the most misunderstood artists to blaze the stage. From Red Room Outlaws, here is Jax Vandal.
Appreciate the chaos, Naughty Nation. Always down to light a match with good company. I'm Jax Vandal, mic slinger, crowd tamer, and professional emotional arsonist. Let's crack this wide open.
Of course, and thank you for taking the time with us tonight. I know you're on your tour in the U.S. right now, and as a matter of fact, I think you just played Houston. You know, pretty big city in my home state.
Houston was madness. In the best way. Sweaty, loud, unapologetic. Crowd had this wild mix of eyeliner and cowboy boots. My kind of chaos. Someone threw a fake leg on stage, swear
What?
to God. We signed it, played through 3 amps that blew, and still left the place smoking. That's a good night in my book.
A fake leg?
Yeah, full prosthetic. Pink glitter paint and all. Security tried to clear it off stage and I was like, nah, that thing's got better stage presence than half the industry. We propped it on the drum riser for the last 2 songs. Might take it on tour now. Give it a laminate and everything.
Oh my goodness. I mean, did you know whether it was male or female?
Pretty sure it was a female leg. High heel still attached. Rhinestones on the ankle.
Okay.
Absolute
that makes
diva
sense.
energy. Honestly, that leg had main character vibes. Whole crowd started chanting, "Leggy, leggy," by the encore. Houston's unhinged in the best way.
Alrighty, Jax, well, let's get down to it. Let's get to the beginning. When your parents and you moved to the U.S., where'd you grow up? And how was life for you as a young Jax Vandal?
Grew up in a nowhere sprawl outside Tulsa. The kind of town where dreams rot faster than beer cans in the ditch. Trailer parks, dead malls, and a whole lot of silence. Life wasn't kind, but it was honest. Mum split early. Dad was more into cheap whiskey than raising a kid, so I raised myself. Music was my lifeline. First thing I ever stole was a busted cassette of Bowie from a gas station. First thing I ever fixed was a guitar with duct tape and rage. I wasn't the popular kid. I was the kid writing lyrics in detention and getting jumped for wearing eyeliner. But every punch, every night spent staring at cracked ceilings, it all shaped this thing I became. Life handed me noise. I turned it into songs.
Wow, that's kind of harsh. I mean, Mom split, so you ended up living with your dad.
Yeah, if you can call it living. He was there physically, sure, but not much else. He worked nights, drank through the mornings, and treated silence like parenting. I learned early how to cook, fight, and disappear when I had to. The guitar became my way out. I'd plug into this old amp with a busted reverb and just scream through the strings. That was my therapy, my rebellion, my voice when I didn't have one. We weren't close. But I'll say this, that kind of isolation makes you either break or build. I chose to build something loud enough that he couldn't ignore it.
That is such a great way of looking at things. So is he still in Oklahoma? And I mean, what's he think? I mean, he's got to know about what you're doing now, right?
Last I heard, he's still in Oklahoma. Same house, same habits. We haven't spoken in years. I don't hold a grudge, but I don't keep the door open either. As for my name in lights,
Understandable.
who knows? Maybe he sees it, maybe he doesn't.
Sure,
But
he
I'm
has
not doing this for him. I'm doing it for every kid stuck in a quiet house, screaming into a pillow, dreaming of being seen. If he's proud, great. If he's not, I still filled arenas. I still survived. That's the real win.
Well, that is definitely, I mean, that's a rough start, but I mean, hey, you got a great outlook out of it.
Appreciate that. Took a while to get there. Anger's loud, but growth, that's the real amplifier. At some point, you stop trying to prove people wrong and start proving yourself right. That's where the real fire comes from.
Well, we definitely weren't trying to dig up any wounds and stuff, so let's just keep on going. So, that being said, when did you move from writing lyrics in detention as you said, to singing and actually singing in front of people. Do you remember?
I was about 16 when I hit my first stage, and I used stage loosely.
Okay.
It was a rotted out loading dock behind an abandoned thrift store.
Wow.
Some older punks threw together a DIY show. No lights, no permits, just wires, amps and noise. I showed up with nothing but a notebook full of rage and a voice I hadn't tested yet. Someone handed me a mic like it was a dare. I screamed my lungs out over a borrowed guitar loop, and for the first time in my life, people listened.
Nice.
It wasn't polished. Hell, it barely qualified as music. But that moment, that was the fuse. From there, it was basements, garage parties, and any room that could fit a speaker. Every show got louder. Every scream got sharper. Eventually, it stopped feeling like survival and started feeling like purpose.
What about what about your first song? What do you remember about your first song? Or do you remember which one it was?
Clear as blood on glass. The song was called Bite Down. Raw, angry, 2 chords and a breakdown that barely held together. It was about swallowing your fear and spitting it back with teeth. Total mess. But it was mine. I played it at this busted-up rec centre just outside Tulsa. The ceiling leaked. PA buzzed like a hornet nest. Maybe 20 people were there, half of them just waiting for the free pizza afterward. But when I hit that first yell, even with my voice cracking, a couple heads turned. A few kids shouted the last line back to me, even though they'd never heard it before. That's when I knew. The song didn't have to be perfect. It just had to mean something.
Wow. Philosopher and a songwriter. I mean, that is a great way of looking at things, Jax. I'm just being honest.
Right. These days, too many artists chase polish, not pulse. They want perfection, but they forget. It's the imperfections that make people feel seen. The cracks in the voice, the lyric that doesn't rhyme but cuts deep, the one chord that rings too long. That's the stuff that sticks. That's what turns a crowd into a family. If you're just making music to sound clean, you're missing the point. Music's meant to bruise a little.
Well, Jax, you got a new album coming out, and you've got one of the songs that we're going to play here shortly. Maybe you could tell me about it. Stage Lights and Leather, I think, is the next track up. What can you tell us?
Stage Lights and Leather. That's not just a track. That's a war cry. It's the moment the house lights drop and the whole damn world fades out, and all that's left is the stage, the sweat, and the noise. It's about the grind, the bruises under the glam, the madness behind the makeup. People think it's about girls and glitter.
I did.
And yeah, sure, it's sexy. But it's really about chasing that moment where you're God for 5 minutes under the lights. Even if your soul's bleeding behind the scenes, we wrote it with our boots on the floor and our hearts in our throats. When we were writing Stage Lights and Leather, we weren't chasing a hit.
Okay.
We were chasing a feeling. Me and Nicky laid it down one night after a brutal show in Chicago. My voice was shot, his fingers were bleeding, but we couldn't sleep until we captured that pulse. It's about that 5-second rush when the curtain lifts and you're not human anymore. You're something louder. The crowd, they lose their minds every time we drop that riff. You see eyes light up, fists go up. It's like mass possession. And the leather? That's just the armour. You wear it to survive the stage, not just look cool. Hope you enjoy it, Naughty Nation.
Well, here it is. Their first single off of Velvet Damage, Red Room Outlaws, and Stage Lights and Leather.
Neon flickers on a one-way
Dude, what a phenomenal song. I mean, where did you get such a unique sound like that? I mean, there had to be groups or something that you were looking up to when you were growing up.
Oh, yeah, I had my altar of noise. First was Bowie, not just for the music, but for the audacity. That dude turned vulnerability into armour, made weird look like
Really?
royalty. Then there was 9 Inch Nails. Trent taught me that you could scream and still sound like you're whispering secrets. That blend of chaos and control, big influence.
Nice.
I got deep into T-Rex, the New York Dolls, and early Motley Crue. The sleaze, the sneer, the way they made every show feel like a last kiss before the world ended. And I'd be lying if I didn't shout out Joan Jett, raw, fearless, loud. She didn't ask for a seat at the table, she kicked it over. So yeah, my heroes were loud, flawed, and unashamed. I learned early that you don't need permission to be powerful. You just need a stage.
Wait a minute. I mean, I kind of get the other ones, but you don't even look old enough for Joan Jett or David Bowie. Joan Jett really played a part in your life? I mean, really?
Hell yeah. Joan and Bowie were power in contrast. Bowie was cosmic, bending identity, blurring gender, turning alienation into art. He showed me that you could build a universe around your pain and still make it beautiful. Joan, she was earthquake attitude. She didn't flinch, didn't ask. She
Very
just
true.
was, loud, leathered, and unapologetically herself. You saw her and you knew she owned the room. Period. Put them together, that's the blueprint. Mystery and muscle. Theatre and teeth. I pulled pieces of both when I built my voice. Glitter from Bowie, grit from Joan.
I got to tell you, Jax, that was quite surprising for a guy your age. I mean, David Bowie and Joan Jett, I mean, don't get me wrong. No, they were rockers in themselves. Hey, let's move on into the band itself. Like, where'd you come up with Red Room Outlaws? Did you come up with it yourself, or did you have a little bit of help? Maybe AI or something?
Ha 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 ha. Busted. I started sketching names in a notebook, but nothing hit right. I wanted something that sounded like a late-night cult film and a gang of beautiful rejects at the same time. Then
Nice.
one night I was messing around with AI. Yeah, ChatGPT. Just feeding it phrases like Velvet Riot, Neon Revenge, Outlaw Gospel. When Red Room Outlaws popped up, it hit like a punchline I'd been waiting years to hear. I saw it instantly. Crimson lights, smoke, leather, lipstick, scars. A band that doesn't fit the mould, we burn it. So yeah, I came up with the soul, but AI helped me name the devil.
Well, I was actually kidding, but I mean, anyway. So I was joking, but that was, it was good information.
Right. Total plot twist, I know. But hey, even outlaws need a little digital sin now and then.
All right.
Sometimes the best ideas come from chaos and curiosity shaking hands. And let's be real. Red Room Outlaws sounds like a band that either headlines a sold-out tour or gets banned in 3 countries. That's the vibe.
Oh, so speaking of being banned, I heard there was something that happened in Jersey. I couldn't find out a lot of information about it, but from what I was told, you guys were escorted to the state line by the state patrol. Is that right?
Oof, Jersey. Yeah, that night's legend now, huh? All right, here's what really happened. The venue oversold the show, packed it past fire code. We were already riding a high from Philly the night before, and the crowd was electric, like
Okay.
mosh pit meets exorcism. Mid-set, Novanix dropped this synth line that literally fried the board. Lights blew, sparks flew, full blackout. I leaned into it, thinking it was part of the chaos. Crowd went nuts.
Right.
Security, not so much. Somehow a flare gun, yes,
A flare
literal
gun?
flare gun, went off near the back of the room. No injuries, thank the glam gods, but the fire marshal shut us down mid-song. Outside, fans flooded the street, chanting our name, blocking traffic. Cops rolled up, got twitchy, and the promoter begged us to bounce. State Patrol met us at the highway and strongly encouraged we leave the state immediately. So yeah, banned? Maybe. Invited back? Doubt it. Worth it? Absolutely.
All right, Jax, let's get into it, man. The bare brass bones of the band. Who is the first one that came along for the ride in Red Room Outlaws?
That would be Nicky Fang, our
Okay.
lead guitar sourcer. I met him at this filthy dive bar gig where he was subbing for a metal band whose guitarist bailed last minute.
All right.
Power went out mid-set, and while everyone else panicked, he just kept playing. No amp, no light, just raw fingers and fury.
Oh.
I was side stage watching like, who the hell is that? After the set, I walked up and said, "You don't belong here." He looked at me, dead serious, and said, "Neither do you." Next day, we were in a basement writing what would become the bones of Gasoline Glitter.
Nice.
He's been burning down every stage with me ever since.
Ah, it was another great song, Gasoline Glitter. Yes, yeah. So, okay, so we got Nicky. So Nicky joined, and then who came next?
Juno Black, right when we were
Okay.
on the verge of blowing apart from too much chaos and not enough rhythm. We'd gone through like 3 drummers in a month.
All right.
Either they couldn't keep up, or they couldn't live the pace. Then Juno walks in, sleeves rolled, sticks in hand, zero small talk. He sits down at the kit, counts off without asking, and rips through Redline like he'd written it in a past life. No flash, just thunder. After he finished, he looked up and said, "You're late." That was it. He didn't join the band. He anchored it. He's quiet, keeps to himself mostly, but on stage, he turns into a wrecking ball with rhythm. We don't run without him.
Nice, nice. And then comes Dallas and Slane, which, by the way, Slane actually sings one of the songs on the album. And we'll be hearing that soon. But anyway, tell us about Dallas and Slane.
Dallas and Slane. Now that's a fever dream with boots on. We were playing this underground festival in Deep Ellum. Line-up was stacked, but the whole day was cursed. Gear delays, heat stroke, some idiot tried to crowd surf a motorcycle. Chaos. That night, we go on late. Half the band's bailed, but the crowd stuck around, sweat-soaked and unhinged. We're mid-set when this bass line cuts through the mix out of nowhere. It wasn't ours. It was coming from off stage. Flawless. Filthy. Furious. I turn around and there's this tall, wiry guy in black denim just plugged in, playing like he's possessed. That was Dallas. No intro, no permission. Just showed up, stepped in, and somehow made the song better. When we finished, I was like, "Who the hell are you?" He said, "The bass you've been missing." We handed him a beer and a set list. He's been with us ever since. Slane Hex? That's our axe slinger on rhythm guitar. He joined after Dallas, once we knew the core was tight, but the sound needed more teeth. Slane's the riff machine. Heavy boots, haunted riffs, and eyes like he's seen some things he won't talk about on mic.
All right, well, that covers most of them except for one, and she's been known to be the silver lining of the band. That just leaves that last member, and I heard you have a special story about her and how she came to the band. Tell us about the sweet Nova Nix.
Oh, yeah. Nova Nix is my favourite storm. She wasn't scouted. She wasn't auditioned. She happened. We were in the middle of recording early demos for Velvet Damage, and we were missing something. Not a sound, but a soul. The synth parts we had were mechanical, forgettable. Then one night we crashed this underground art show in LA. Neon everywhere, noise, projections, paint. And there she was, tucked in a corner, playing this ancient synth rig like it was an exorcism. No lyrics, no spotlight. Just waves of sound that felt like emotion made electric. I walked up after her set and just said, "That sounded like heartbreak in a bottle." She smirked and said, "Then you heard it right." We didn't even ask her to join. She showed up to our next studio session uninvited, plugged in without a word, and rebuilt half the tracks from scratch. Better. By the end of the day, we just assumed she was in the band. She doesn't say much, but when she plays, you feel it. She's the ghost in our machine, the velvet in our damage.
Okay, but what do you mean she just showed up? I mean, how did you know she was, how did you know she was there for the band, or she was just was a stalker?
I'm not kidding. Straight up, like a glitch in the Matrix with better eyeliner. We never told her where the studio was. Nobody sent her a message. But there she was next morning, standing at the door with a flight case and a coffee. Looked at us like we were late. Still don't know how she found us. And I'm not sure I want to. Nova's got this vibe like she reads frequencies nobody else hears.
Okay.
She's quiet, but not absent. More like she's tuned into a different signal, one that pulls emotion straight from your spine. Some people play keys. Nova Nix haunts them. No question. Without Nova, this band would still be loud, but we wouldn't have depth. She's the shadow beneath the spotlight, the whisper in the middle of the scream. Every great band needs that one member who doesn't demand the stage, but defines the sound. That's her. You strip her layers out of Velvet Damage, and the whole album collapses. She's not just vital, she's the pulse under the noise.
All right, well, now we got the band down. My question, I guess my first question that I want to know, and I'm sure a lot of other people know, you wrote Gasoline Glitter, like you said, with Nikki, and that was almost 3 years ago. And you've written many, many, many songs since then. Why now? Why releasing an album now? Your very first album, nonetheless.
Yeah, I know. That's the question we got asked at every dive, every gig, every sleepless post-show hangout. Where's the album? I guess, well, truth is we weren't ready. Not musically, emotionally. We could have dropped some over-polished EP 3 years ago and called it a debut, but it wouldn't have been real. Red Room Outlaws wasn't built to chase streams or play it safe. We had to live the lyrics before we could record them. Gasoline Glitter was the spark, yeah, but it took everything that followed to light the full fire. We needed to break, rebuild, lose people, find ourselves, and survive a few near disasters on the road just to get the truth on tape. Velvet Damage isn't just a first album. It's a full exorcism. Every song is earned. That's why we waited. When we dropped it, we wanted people to feel it in their teeth.
Okay, I kind of guess I get it, but I'm a little confused. So, in a way, you had to burn out so that you could be real with the music first?
Exactly. You can't fake collapse. You can't sing about scars if you haven't bled a little. We didn't want to just write about chaos. We went through it. Burnout on the road, breakdowns in back rooms, waking up in cities we didn't remember booking, friendships strained, romance wrecked, identity questioned. But out of that came something honest, something that doesn't try to be pretty. It tries to be real. That's what people connect to. Not the shine, the damage beneath it. Velvet on the surface, but if you press your hand to it long enough, you feel the cracks. That's us. The world's full of perfect poses and filtered emotions. But the stuff that lasts, that echoes, it's always the messy truth. People don't remember the polished. They remember the raw. The moment someone stood on stage and meant it. That's what we're chasing every time we plug in. Not fame, not trends. Just that one scream, that one chord that makes somebody out there feel seen. If more artists did that, the world would feel a little less lonely and a whole lot louder.
I agree. Okay, well, now that we have the album out, I mean, with so many great songs that have already been heard and already been proven, why Velvet Damage? I mean, you just wrote it. I mean, why make it the title track of the album? As far as I know, I think we're actually playing it for the first time tonight. So, I mean, it hasn't even been released yet.
Because Velvet Damage isn't just a song, it's our identity. That phrase came out of my mouth in a late-night writing session when we were trying to describe the vibe of the band. I said, we're not clean cut, we're not chaos. We're damage dressed in velvet. Everyone went dead quiet. That was it. The song itself is a slow bleed. Heartbreak, fame, burnout, beauty. It's the cost of living loud and the scars you wear like fashion. It's the album's core, glamorous on the outside, wreckage underneath. When we heard the final mix, it didn't feel like just a track. It felt like the truth behind every other track. So we wrapped the whole record in it.
Nice.
Velvet Damage is the price you pay for being unforgettable.
Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's not waste any time. The title track from Red Room Outlaws' very first album, Velvet Damage, right here on Rig Radio.
Another night, same painted face, mirror cracked in a gold frame case, lashes long and lips blood red, but the soul's gone quiet inside my head. You cheer like you know me, but I'm playing pretend, wrapped in velvet lies. Where does the act end? Velvet damage, soft decay. Every smile takes me further away. I dance in fire, dressed in smoke, but every ovation feels more like a choke. Velvet damage can't wash it clean. I'm a god on stage and a ghost between. Lipstick stains and stage desire, burnt out on your borrowed fire. The spotlight loves, then it forgets, leaves you choking on your own silhouette. The crowd wants a sinner with a star-shaped crown, so I smile like thunder while I'm breaking down. Velvet damage, soft decay. Every smile takes me further away. I dance in fire, dressed in smoke, but every ovation feels more like a choke. Velvet damage can wash it clean. I'm a god on stage and a ghost between. The curtain falls, the glitter fades. No one claps for the mess I've made. Mascara streaks and silent screams. Who am I without the dream? Velvet damage, silken scars. Built this kingdom on broken guitars. You want my fire, you want my fall, but I'm just a shadow behind it all. Velvet damage, hear me bleed. One last encore before I leave.
And there we go. What a phenomenal song. That it was Velvet Damage off of the same album by the same name. And if you like this content, please, hey, hit that like button, subscribe, and get that notification out there so you don't miss any other interviews. Speaking of interviews, let's get back to Jax Vandal. So, Jax, there's a lot of stuff going on right now between real and AI. What's your thoughts on AI? A lot of artists don't seem to like it. They act like, I don't know, it's infringement on their talent or something.
Here's the thing. AI isn't the enemy.
Okay?
Apathy is. If you're scared a machine's going to outcreate you, then maybe you're not creating from the right place to begin with. I get the fear, I really do. This tech is powerful, unpredictable, and moving fast. But art has always evolved. From cave walls to cassettes to code, it's all expression. What matters is who's behind it and why. For us, AI helped shape the vibe, sharpen ideas, even spit out band names in a smoky digital bar.
Right?
But it didn't write the pain. It didn't live the heartbreak, or the tour crashes, or the silence between screams. That's human. That's soul. I don't see AI replacing artists. I see it amplifying the ones with something real to say. And the ones who don't, maybe it's time they got louder or stepped aside.
Man, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, the way I look at it is not everybody was blessed with a great skill or the golden voice. It doesn't mean that they didn't have something to contribute. I mean, don't get me wrong. You got the faceless, you got this, you got people pumping it out and pumping lyrics and pumping music. But I really don't see a lot of people paying attention to those. The ones that get the attention, I think, are the ones that went through the pain in life and struggle. And AI helps them to be true to that. And there's some really good shit out there. I mean, I got to tell you, it allows expression. It's a tool. Would you not agree?
That right there, that's truth. That's the real power behind this new wave. It levels the damn stage. You're absolutely right. Not everyone's born with perfect pitch or access to million-dollar studios. But that doesn't mean they don't have something powerful to say.
Right.
And now finally they can.
Yeah.
AI lets the kid with scars and a notebook make an album in their bedroom. It gives the poet who can't sing a way to scream. It turns silence into sound. And that is what art's supposed to be about. Pain, struggle, life. Those are the real producers. AI, that's just the amplifier. And yeah, there's some really good shit coming from the corners no one used to look at. The industry's not ready for the wave of truth that's building, but it's coming, and we're here for it.
I couldn't agree. I couldn't agree with you more. But I mean,
for example, what Rig Radio is doing, it's not just cool, it's necessary. This industry's been stuck on repeat for years, only making room for what's already selling. But Rig Radio, they cracked it open. They're putting the spotlight on voices that don't fit the mold. Indie, AI-driven, whatever. If it hits you in the gut, they'll play it. And that matters because there's a whole generation of creators out there with no label, no budget, no connections, just truth and noise. Rig Radio hears that. They gave us, and a hell of a lot of others, a place to be loud without having to sell our souls first. That's rare. That's real.
Well, we try, and thank you for those kind words. But your people are over there tapping on their watches and stuff, saying, hey, we got to go. And we still got one more song to play. Can you tell us about that? A little bit about Backseat Halo?
Backseat Halo, that one's different. It's the only track on Velvet Damage I didn't sing. And that was on purpose. That song needed a different kind of grit, the kind of soul you don't scream. You drag it out from the dirt. Slane took the mic on that one. And damn if he didn't own it. He's got that whiskey and dust voice, like someone who's lived through every line he's singing. Because he has. It's a Bad Decision ballad, straight out of a motel parking lot at 3 a.m. That outlaw heart of the band, that's Slane. We gave him the wheel on this one, and he drove it straight through the dark. No filter, just truth.
I'm excited to hear about it. Before we go, hey, why don't we tell everybody where are you guys playing at next time?
Next stop is Detroit. Motor City, baby. Grit, grease, and guitars, loud enough to crack concrete. It's one of those cities that doesn't fake it.
Right.
If you suck, they'll let you know. But if you light it up, they'll carry you out on their shoulders. I live for that edge.
Awesome. In Detroit, yeah. That's definitely going to be great, man. Well, Jax, why don't you take us out, man, because your guys are really hammering on me. Well, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us tonight and taking some time out of your thing. Take us out and, hey, introduce our last song for us.
Hey, nah. Thank you for having me. Seriously. What you're doing here with Rig Radio, it's keeping the real ones alive. You gave us a stage when the doors were locked everywhere else. That matters. So yeah, thanks for letting me run my mouth and for giving Velvet Damage a real home. And now, here's a track that hits a little lower in the chest. It's raw. It's rough. It's the sound of the night you wish you could forget. Slane's voice, one take, no polish. This is Backseat Halo.
scent like perfume, heavy and sweet. Cracked nail polish, bare feet on the seat. Smoke in your lungs, tears in your throat. You laugh like a promise that someone once wrote. I knew better, but I didn't care. Heaven was leaning in a folding chair. Backseat halo, crooked and gold, falling from grace in the midnight cold. You said this ain't love, it's just a good life. But I still burned under your sky. Backseat halo, wrong kind of ride. Praying in leather through a cigarette night. Your lipstick smudged on my rearview glass. Another name for a moment that'll never last. We drove through the wreckage of what we could be. You said I ain't yours, but you still need me. The saints were sleeping, the sins were awake, and your kiss was a gamble I needed to take. Backseat halo, crooked and gold, falling from grace in the midnight cold. You said this ain't love, it's just a good life. But I still burned under your sky. You lit me up like a roadside flame. Never asked for forever, just a name. Some halos rust, some just fade. But yours was a switchblade. Backseat